Hey everybody, it's that time of year again. And this is the time of year we typically do a weight loss makeover. But this year we're doing something a bit different because what we're going to be actually doing is we're going to be doing it's called Forever Young. You know, when you're older, like I am, you want to stay young, you want to stay fit, you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to be able to live life on your terms. There's no question about it. And when you're younger, you want to stay young and you want to take the action steps to make that happen. Now, again, the makeover event, people are going to lose weight. There's no question about it because the program is designed to make you forever young. And when you're younger, you're more fit, you're more healthy. And so the consequence of restoration of great health is going to be you're going to have better metabolic function. So we're going to be doing some specific testing. Now, one of these tests that we're going to be doing is going to be done ahead of time, is we're going to test your basal metabolic rate. So we're going to test your metabolism, if you will. All right. Now, what that's going to entail, all right, we're going to test your basal metabolic rate. We're going to test your body water, percent body fat, your lean muscle mass, your visceral fat, and you're going to get a score. You're going to get a number. And that number is not going to be, it's called your biological or bio age, your biological age. And that's how old you are on the inside, how old your cells are, how healthy your body is for a typical person of that age. So conceptually, think about it. I'm 63 years old. When I did this testing, the results came out that I was 37 years old. Not bad, right? So my biological age, my inside age, I function like a typical 37-year-old. And so the goal would be to we run the testing and we find out that you've adopted the 5 essentials that we teach like crazy, and you're like I am. Your biological age is younger than your age on this planet, how long you've been there since your birthday. All right. So, and that's great. And so, because of our Forever Young event and the things you've learned, you'd want to bring everybody because everybody needs to be more healthy. There's no question. And we're going to teach them the strategies at that event. And if you're the opposite of that, it's time to bring you and a guest to the seminar that we're going to be teaching so you can learn the things that others have learned in our network, in the Max Living Network, on how to reverse that biological age to make you younger than your years. Does that make sense? I mean, that's really what it's about. So our goal is to make you, I guess, you quoting the term of the seminar, forever young. Okay. Now, the struggle we run into when your bio age starts getting over your chronological age, the risk is metabolic. It's called metabolic syndrome. All right. Now, metabolic syndrome is a cluster of various biomarkers that the medical community has coined and are legitimately true. And so, what does it lead to? Well, it leads to diabetes, prediabetes. It leads to Alzheimer's. It ages your brain rapidly. I can't remember those numbers. I can't remember that name. I lost my car keys again because it damages your brain function. It causes cardiovascular problems, ends up with heart disease, stroke, pancreatitis, gut issues, immune problems. Metabolic syndrome is probably the most devastating thing your body can have. Now, the various biomarkers that indicate the problem that you're having of metabolic syndrome, as they call it, is that would be glucose levels on your standard blood chemistry of over 100. So if you have blood sugars of over 100, you're at risk for metabolic syndrome. Okay, your central obesity is what it's called, and that would be your waist circumference of approximately 100. Okay, now there's men's and women's numbers, which we'll go over at the seminar, but those are things you want to be looking for. Dyslipidemia. Now, this is one that drives me absolutely ape, and those that have known me long enough, this cholesterol thing is insane, and we're going to spend a lot of time on that because it is just Wrong. What we are doing is so backwards and so wrong, and everybody's making money and nobody's getting healthy, and we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker as a world. And it's just frustrating to me because I know there's better answers, which we'll be talking about at seminar. But if you have triglycerides of greater than 150, you're at risk for dyslipidemia. Now, where those triglycerides come from, well, that's part of the seminar. I'm not going to get into that with our little intro here. Okay. If you're HDLs, now I'm going to call them HDLs and LDLs. All right. I don't like the term good cholesterol and bad cholesterol because it's a crock. It's not even true. All right. They're not cholesterol. They're transport molecules. That's all they are. And they call them good fats and bad fats, which is also not true. So they've just called them what they are: high density lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins. All right. Now, the low density lipoproteins, there's two types. There's a dash C, which is the conventional LDL, and LDL dash P, which is the true risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So why don't we test it? What's the point? Because we're not going to change our prescription strategies and patterns. We're simply going to give you a cholesterol lowering drug, which is going to cause all kinds of damage to your heart, to your muscles, to your body. It's going to make you sicker. So why would we want to change that when everybody's making money? So we're going to discuss that and make sure we understand that. And elevated blood pressure above 130 over 85. So those are things we really need to look at, and we're going to investigate and show you strategies for resolving that. I've been working with patients one-on-one through the functional nutrition testing with this and having outstanding results. And there's no difference here. You're going to get the same kind of stellar results. You just need to take the necessary action steps to make that happen. So guys, getting old is inevitable, but forever young, I mean, you're going to age. I'm sorry, but someday you're going to be done. But how do you want that life to be? How do you want your life experience to be? With these increasing risk factors, the crazy part about it is that it messes with not your lifespan, but your health span. What is it? What is it? What's a health span? That's the number of quality years you have on this planet. And that's what we're after. We want a good health span. And when your health span equals your lifespan, we've got the job well done. Good job, good and faithful servant. You've done a fabulous job. You've experienced all the juice life has to offer, and you got called away when it was time. Not existing for many years, wishing and anticipating and hopeful for death. So we don't want that to be the mainstay of what we want to accomplish. Alzheimer's, dementia, joint pain, back pain, things that are going to affect our lives. These are all part of metabolic syndrome. We're going to show you how to stop, reverse, and truly get you younger than your years. And you're going to find out that we're going to hit three primary points. We're going to hit the exercise piece. Okay, we're going to hit nutrition, and we're going to hit nervous system. All of those are key components to reversing metabolic syndrome and reversing your chronological and biological age, making sure your biological age is younger than you are many years you've been on this planet. But more critically, you're going to find out this is related to hormones. All right, hormone balancing is critical. But again, the manipulation of your hormones is not what it's about. It's about restoration of your body back to health, and the hormones come into balance as a consequence. So for example, when we look at exercise, okay, there's two big groupings. We have anabolic hormones and catabolic hormones. Now, anabolic hormones are ones that increase muscle mass, they burn fat, they reverse your biological age. And it doesn't matter the type of exercise, it's how you apply that exercise that makes the difference. And so things like human growth hormone, HGH, or testosterone, not injected, but truly developed by your body because your body is healthy and knows how to manage that. And then the opposite of that, which is cortisol. Cortisol is the catabolic. It breaks down muscles. It stores fat. It increases sugar. And all of these concepts or these constructs are a consequence of how we exercise and will affect your basal metabolic rate. So again, something as simple as sitting and watching a movie. The more lean muscle mass you have, the more fat you're going to be burning. And again, aerobic exercise. If you walk up to a typical gym, walk inside, 90% of the people are on aerobic equipment. They're running on the treadmill, they're doing the steps. And I'm not saying aerobic health isn't important. What I'm saying is that burns calories, okay? Calories don't make you fat. Fat makes you fat, okay? So the training that we're going to teach you, the exercise we're going to teach you at seminar is going to burn fat, not calories. Okay, that's an important distinction. So you're going to be melting the fat away as your body gets healthier and healthier. So we'll be dealing with that. We're going to spend a lot of time actually on these new drugs. Okay, these GLP-1 inhibitors. All right. So again, quick, and I'm going to hit this at seminar, but I want you to realize that the GLP-1. So when you eat sugar, okay, or sugar comes into your bloodstream from whatever source that is, whether you manufactured it yourself or you put it in your body, the body will take that sugar and make a phone call and release all of the hormone and the one that's called insulin. Now, insulin is a carrier molecule. It's a Uber, if you will, or a escort service. I don't care what you want to call it, but the insulin grabs the sugar and walks up to muscles and liver. That's where sugar goes into because that's where it needs to be processed and stored and used as fuel. So again, you put sugar inside a muscle and you burn it, it makes energy. It makes energy for you to burn so that you can participate in life. Well, the insulin comes up, knocks on the door, and this guy opens the door. What you want, bro? He said, I got this wonderful person in here, Miss Sugar here, who needs to go inside. He says, you got a key. So the guy reaches in his pocket, turns the doorknob, opens up that door, and the sugar goes inside. Well, guess who's waiting there? GLP-1. He's now the liaison into the energy machine and takes sugar in, and we generate 36 gallons of gasoline, and your body uses it, and you burn it, and it's fabulous. Okay? Now, what's a GLP-1 inhibitor? Well, what that does is when the body, it blocks the GLP-1 escort from that into the actual cell. And so literally, I want to go through this just as simple as I can. Okay, Wegovy, Ozempic. What do? They're gut paralyzers. They paralyze your gut. Okay, so literally, you can read some of the research where people and they're called common side effects. Okay, common side effects: vomiting up undigested food material. A common side effect. Why is that? Your food should be digested and through the entire system from beginning to tail end. Okay, I call it the baby Ruth bar coming out the tail end. Should happen in 2 hours. Well, what this does is it paralyzes your gut so you don't basically absorb or digest or absorb your food. Now, if you starved yourself, wouldn't you lose weight? That's how these things work, is they starve you, and then when the knock on the door, open the door, there's nobody there to carry the sugar into the cell. And so what does it do? It has to be eliminated, and you feel full all the time, so you're nauseated and sick and miserable. But I'm losing weight, but you're making yourself sick because the body needs these nutrients in order for your body to be healthy. And so you're not absorbing food, you're getting skinny, and your body's getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And what's insane, because your body becomes so sick and damaged, your body becomes fatigued and it stops doing what it normally does. And your LDLs and your HDLs, they all start getting into normal range. Your cholesterol comes into normal range, not because you're getting healthy, because the body is shutting down. You're dying. And that's how Ozempic and the like work. So it's absolutely insane. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to start thinking a different way. There's something called ultra processed foods. There's food, okay? That would be an organic apple or organic broccoli or some organic ground beef or whatever, healthy organic food. And then there's processed foods. That's where you go to a restaurant or something and there's foods that have been somewhat processed. But these ultra processed foods, insane what they do to the body. Absolutely insane. Okay? Listen to these numbers, okay? If you eat one donut hole, one, if you drink a half a can of Coke or 18 Skittles, you increase your risk of mortality by 14%. Listen to what I just said. One donut hole, half a can of Coke, or 18 Skittles equals 14% increase in mortality. And again, not even mortality. What do you think that's going to do to your health span? It's going to continually go down and down and down. And you're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker and start developing those problems in lifestyle. So we have to start thinking a different way and taking a different action plan. And I've been doing this, guys, for 38 going on almost 39 years. And we've been in this network for a lot of that timeline. And we are dedicated to transitioning the health of a world. But we can't do it through a bottle, through a shot, or through a surgery. There's no health in those processes. We need to start thinking, how do we make this machine whose baseline knows how to be healthy? All right. So we're going to talk at the seminar about sugar. Sugar is the number one reason we're obese. All right. And so again, we'll talk about it at seminar. Fat became demonized back in the sugar era. Sugar sponsored all the research that proved fat made us fat and made us sick. They didn't talk about seed oils and canola and vegetable oils and all these things that were basically waste products that they would throw out or used as an industrial lubricant, and demonized those. And they told us saturated fat causes heart disease. They told us cholesterol causes heart disease. And guess what your brain is made out of? Fat and cholesterol. So I wonder why Alzheimer's is at record numbers and memory centers are out of control. There's so many. So again, we're going to talk about this at seminar. So sugar causes obesity. It causes acidity. Cancer can't live in a basic, 99% of cancers can't live in a pH balance of 7.2. So if you're acidic, your risk of cancer just skyrocketed, and other diseases as well. Systemic inflammation, high cholesterol. Why does cholesterol go up in the presence of sugar? Because it damages the blood vessels that are carrying these things. So the LDL-Ps and the sugar and the elevated insulin damage the blood vessel. So the body sends out cholesterol to patch up the potholes that are being created so the LDL-P can't enter into the interstitium and cause the narrowing of the blood vessel, which causes the clots, which leads to stroke and heart disease. Ugh! I know. I'm sorry. It makes me sad to watch you guys get sick. Diabetes, toxicity, heart disease. It's called an anti-nutrient. It is just junk. So make sure you come to seminar. We're going to talk about that. Now remember, I'm not saying don't eat sweet. What I'm saying is don't eat sugar. Okay. I just had actually a chocolate chip protein ball. Okay. Tasted just like what do you call it? Cookie dough. Not an ounce of grain, not an ounce of sugar in it. And guess what? Fabulous. Tastes really good. And it was good for my body. We're going to teach you strategies. I'm not saying don't eat sweet. What I'm saying, don't eat the nasty sweets from processing. So you can use things like honey as a natural sweetener, dates, maple syrup, stevia. Monk fruit is my go-to. I like monk fruit as one of the best strategies for using as a sweetener. Cooking, you can use erythritol. There's been some controversy there. So, but again, these are all the different things we're going to be talking about at seminar. But in the end, it really begs one final question that we have to ask ourselves is, do you want to be healthy? Do you deserve to be healthy? And the answer to both those questions are yes. Okay. So, we want to make sure we're doing this. I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing this for 38 years. Okay. And I think I know a few things. I have a lot of in here and a lot of things to learn still. I do. I learn things every day, and I'm so frustrated because all I want to know is everything to make you guys the best version of yourself. And that's truly what it's about. Okay. So, you may be thinking, you know what, Dr. Ray, it's in my genes. You know, my mother was sick. I'm sick with the same thing. I'm obese. My mom is obese. It's in my genetics. Well, guys, 6% of who we are is genetic. That means 94% is in our control. It's lifestyle driven. And we're going to hit those strategies to show you that. Now, we're not going to leave you high and dry. Yeah, we're going to talk about eating plans. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about all the things we've highlighted here, but we're going to give you a step-by-step instruction manual, a 30-day challenge, which is going to have the exercises to do. It's going to have the foods to eat, the exact timing of the foods. I mean, I can't come and cook for you, but that's about as close as you're going to get. I can't do your push-ups for you, but I can give you the strategies for making that happen. There's also going to be a network-wide Facebook group where you can actually get help and you can get support to help each other get better and get what we need and make you the healthiest version of yourself. So when is this whole thing happening? It's coming up February the 17th at 6:30 p.m. Again, it's called Forever Young. I'm sorry, Younger Tomorrow. So the goal is we're going to test you. Now, the steps, we're going to have a testing machine that's going to test your biological age. Okay? Then we're going to find out where you're at and then use that as our testing for future. Numbers are great because it gives us a benchmark and something to strive for. So again, I know you're out there struggling. I know friends of yours are struggling. So get a ticket for you and as many guests as you want. We never charge for a ticket price for guests. We just want to encourage more and more and more love and more connection into our community. So guys, thanks for listening. And I'm looking forward to seeing you younger tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.